Yo, welcome back to the channel. We got a ton of work to do to the C10 here. The Cherokee we've been working on took a lot more time than I thought it would, but it's finally out of the shop for now. So we can turn our attention to the truck. We're gonna be pulling off body panels, yanking the engine and trans. John will be coming over later, help us pull the bed. Let's check it out. I think we'll just get right into the good stuff and see about pulling this engine and transmission out first. Now, the reason for all this work, a buddy of mine, I did some work for him on his Jeep, and he's a body man. So I'm getting a paint job out of it. The engine's coming out that way, we can freshen it up. It leaks pretty bad, and I don't know a whole lot about this motor, so it'd be good to tear down on it and see what we're dealing with. Gonna start with simple things like getting the fan shroud off, getting some hoses off and wires. Then we'll get into the more juicy stuff. And since this is kind of unfamiliar ground for me, I'm gonna be labeling a lot of stuff. It's not like a 4.0. Got a good majority of the stuff off, most of the hoses, the wire harness is laid over here. I got everything labeled. For once, I didn't make a big old mess with the coolant. I actually kind of kept it under control this time. So doing good. Interesting thing, with the distributor, the cap, I was messing with the wires and the cap just popped off loose. Like nothing was barely holding it. So I just took it off along with all the wires just to kind of, I don't know, so I can see everything, I guess. What I'm gonna do now, take off the fuel pump, take off the accessory belt, take off the pulley here on the balancer, and take off the power steering lines and let them drain. See if these power steering lines wanna play nicely. Oh yeah. Oh, incoming. Nice. Get this tensioner loosened up. Get the belt off now. Loosen that up. Then we'll get the power steering bracket loosened up. That way we can get that other belt off of there. That's just the last center bolt on the balancer. I'm taking this out to hopefully give us some clearance coming up over the radiator shroud here. Let's get this fuel pump situated. We'll take off the supply line from the tank right here. I have a feeling that this is part of the reason my dual tanks don't work. That's just chilling there. I'm also gonna take off the fuel inlet to the carburetor. Take that line off down there. A lot of fuel. Oh, and we'll just pull this whole thing up and out. More fuel. That's out. Last thing to do is get the carb off, pull off our vacuum lines and our breather, disconnect our throttle. Whop, whop. Got a little spacer. Actually, we'll keep this spacer on. That way the longer bolts they used will work with the plate. Ah, the bolt's still bottomed out. We'll have to find some different hardware for the yoink plate here, but I think we're good up top. I need to disconnect this throttle. Yeah, I'll do that. But now we're ready to get the truck up in the air, head underneath. We're gonna take out the drive shaft, take out the transmission cross member, and we should be pretty much ready at that point to pull this engine out, unless I'm forgetting something. Oh, motor mounts, that would help. And we'll have to unbolt the exhaust, maybe even take the headers out. And one thing I just realized when we actually go to pull the engine, the truck's gonna need to be in the air anyway, because this jack is not gonna fit underneath. As you can see, up in the air, got the drive shaft out, that's easy enough. Now, the plan is, we're gonna get this exhaust out of here. There's not much holding in the whole system actually. There's just the mount right here at the back, right before the tips. And then where they actually bolt to the headers is the only other spot. So there's 3 bolts on each of the collectors and then the 2 hangers on either side. We'll drop the exhaust out. We'll try the driver's side first. Let's hope these don't fight us too much. Not bad, there's one. We got one more that I can't even see. And that's free. Oh, well, that gasket didn't make it. Here's that bracket on the back. There's no way I'm gonna try and fish this hook out of there. So hopefully I can get a wrench. like that. Oh. All right, there's one. Do the same thing on the other side. All right, that one's gonna have to wait to come out because it goes up over the cross member. I got the bracket off the back, so it's just dangling there. So now I have the jack supporting the bottom of the transmission. We can go ahead and take out the cross member. Easy enough, 2 bolts on either side, and then a single transmission bolt. Got the 4 mounting bolts off the frame rails. Now we just got the transmission mount in the middle. I think I'll take off the mount itself. That stud is just asking to get caught on something. 2 can play at that. It's not coming out in a bad way. There we go. And this is a good reminder to take off the speedo cable. And that wire. Last thing I'm doing while I'm under here is I'm stringing up an old ratchet strap here. And that's gonna kind of act as a cross member. Right like that, nothing fancy. Temporary cross member as we're pulling the engine and kind of guide the transmission out. Instead of having a jack down here, we can kind of just loosen this as we need to or tighten it, whatever. I forgot to show it, but I did get the transmission linkage off. And that's it underneath. Now I'm gonna come up here, try and get these headers off, see how these bolts do. I'm not even messing around. I'm just gonna get right on in here. Oh, they're not bad at all. Just gotta crack them loose, now they're finger tight. I'm good with that. Let's try the back one. I think we'll be all right. Now I'm not sure if I'm gonna pull these through the top or send them down through the bottom. We'll see what it wants to do here. Looks like it wants to go out through the bottom. Oh yeah. Oh, all the way. Go see if I can get that out. See if I can get out of here first. Jeez. Come on, little buddy. There we go. Couldn't find any shorter hardware for the plate there, so nothing a stack of washers won't fix. That's good to go. I pulled the starter out for the heck of it. Last thing to do is bring the hoist in, put some tension on the engine, and fish them motor mounts out of there. All right, hooked up, ready to rip some motor mounts out. Now I'm a little bit skeptical about the hood, if that's enough room to clear to get the engine and transmission out. If that is the case, we're just gonna have to wait for John, get some help taking off the hood. I don't want to attempt to do that on my own. But we got a bolt, we got a nut. We're gonna take it off, see if we can get both the motor mounts out, and I don't know, see what happens. Well, there's that part of it. Now I'm under the truck, see if I can get it backed out of there. Nice. See if our luck continues on the other side. A little bit tighter over here, but I think I might be able to sneak down in here. There we go. Spinning. There we go. I'm underneath again. See if we can back this thing out. Let's just start putting some tension on this motor and figure out what we forgot to unplug, or maybe it'll just come right out. Yeah, I need to drop the floor jack. Forgot about that. What did that do? Hood clearance is getting close. Oh, transmission fluid. We'll let that run its course. It's not that I forgot to drain it. I knew that would happen, but I forgot to remember that that would happen. My transmission pan doesn't have a drain bolt. Good old Turbo 400. Made a mess out of it. All right, we might be here a minute. So far though, I don't think I forgot to unplug anything. I think we did it on the first shot. Ooh, nope, there's an engine ground right there. All right, we're just gonna keep on cooking. It's still kind of dripping out, but if we have to stop anyway because of the hood, then there's kind of no point. Hood's gonna have to come off. Yeah, I'm definitely waiting for help for that. Look who decided to show. We're gonna attempt to get this hood off. You just wanna go front to back and, yeah, I guess. Or back to front, that's cool. You on your last? Yeah.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep.
Let's keep on going.
I'm gonna be the pump guy.
All right.
Back a little bit.
No, we're good.
No?
It'll go.
Alright. I regret being pumped, man. Was that in the firewall?
A little bit.
She likes that.
I mean, we could go back now. All right, bring it on out. I can't see. Now go back. We clear?
We're clear.
Cool. That's a hole.
Is this a 4L60?
No.
Edit that out, would you?
Yeah.
This is unprompted, and he didn't ask me to do this, but look at this AC condenser. We need to convince Jimmy to put new AC in this truck. He doesn't think it's important. We're gonna soup up the engine, but we're still not gonna have AC. You need AC.
Vintage air is a lot.
I don't care. You know what else was a lot? All the stuff you've done to the vet.
Well,
And you're not gonna drive the vet near as much as you drive this.
what do you want from me?
AC, especially if we do like a power tour or something.
You know how much it would clean up the firewall if this wasn't here?
You know how much it would clean up the firewall if this wasn't here? Or, shall we pan over to the house wire nut wrapped in electrical tape?
I don't even know what that's for.
Put in the comments, we need AC.
You don't even hold it right.
Whatever.
Now that John's finished with his monologue, we can get this thing separated. You gonna do that?
No.
You could start unbolting the bed.
Yeah, I can do that.
Or we could work together.
Ooh.
Pretty simple. Bell housing bolts and then the torque converter bolts. And then we can separate these two. This I'm not doing anything with transmission. We'll just put it on a little cart. I'm gonna get these torque converter bolts while the engine's still dangling in the air. First, I'm taking off this inspection cover. Dust shield.
I'll help you with that. Never mind.
What size does that look? 9/16?
5H. 5H calling it.
9/16. I am better than you.
I want to hurt you. Right now.
Oh, what'd I do? Oh. Can you please turn it over? Good. Oh.
They used to call me starter in high school
They did?
because I could spin a motor.
I don't recall that. I don't think that's real.
You didn't know.
I think this might be the last one. I'm gonna bring it down real easy like, and we'll get the transmission resting on that dolly. Now I'm gonna take out these bell housing bolts. Should be able to separate these two. Neutral drop. Get that vacuum line.
Or, better yet, we won't have a Harbor Freight.
Works fine. Got the old 350 on the stand. We're gonna start working on the bed. John's working here at the filler necks. And we got dual tanks, so it's on both sides. I'm gonna head around back, check out the taillight wiring, see if I can get that figured out. 4 screws holding on the lens, and then there was 4 more screws holding in this inner part. So I'm just gonna unplug everything and send it through. How you doing?
This sucks. Oh, why is it so wet?
Oh. Got both the corners disconnected, and then we'll just pull it through this hole. Like that. And then just unplug the main harness. Wait a minute, did I need to do any of that? I could have just unplugged this?
Yeah, you suck.
You told me to do all that.
Crap.
What'd you do?
Cut it, and all this old nasty varnish almost hit me in the mouth.
Yeah, that's the tank that doesn't work.
Oh, sweet mama. Come help me in my square body.
Well, all that work wasn't for nothing because it's getting painted anyway. Take off the tailgate now, that's easy. Got all the bolts out. Had some complications.
Good grinder.
Yeah. Get the truck on the ground and we'll roll it up there. Put the bed cart. Oh yeah, we built this table just for the bed. So we'll roll this to the back of the shop and then...
We found out Jimmy's a better mechanic than a carpenter.
Hey, we don't need to talk about that. That's enough exercise for a year. Bed's off, motor's out. Not gonna get to the fenders today. We're pulling the glass. Running out of time. That was a long day. Got a lot done though. The bed's off, so we can clean up the frame really well. I mean, it's a clean frame to begin with. I want to get the dual tanks working. Unfortunately, I think I'm still gonna have to drop the tanks to get to the sending units, but there's a little selector valve that needs some work done, and obviously the back of the cab needs painted. And then all the glass is coming out, that way we don't have these red lines like they have. We can actually get behind the seal. I'm gonna get these holes filled from the cab visor that used to be on here, so we'll have to drop the headliner on the interior. For the engine bay, I'd like to clean this up the best I can. I know it's a lot of work, and then maybe paint it if I can, but that involves a lot of taking stuff apart, remembering where it goes. Bed should be pretty straightforward. It's on the table now, so it's at a good working height, and there's nothing really wrong with it, so that should be good to go. The engine, we're just gonna do a little bit of a refresh, probably throw a little cam in there. It's a good running engine. Maybe an intake manifold, just dress it up a little bit, throw that back in. The Turbo 400 is fine, not even gonna touch it, nothing. But that's gonna wrap it up for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.